Selflessness, the most profound concept in Buddhism that will make you question your existence. Before diving into this concept, ask yourself, if I lose a hand, am I still me? If my organs were placed in another body, where would I exist? If my body is made up of countless cells and atoms that constantly change, is there really a permanent me? Buddhism teaches that what we consider the self is merely an illusion. From birth to old age, we assume there is something permanent within us that defines our existence. Some call it a soul, consciousness, or identity. But if everything about us changes, from our bodies to our thoughts, then what exactly is this self that we cling to? This idea of an unchanging self is called ego clinging, and it is the root of attachment. Because we are attached to the belief in a fixed self, we experience fear, suffering, and dissatisfaction. We try to preserve our youth, wealth, and identity, fearing their loss. But in reality, none of these things are permanent. The self we think we have is constantly shifting, yet we still cling to it, creating endless struggles in our lives. Buddha taught that everything is impermanent, including our thoughts, emotions, and bodies. What we perceive as ourselves is actually a combination of 5 aggregates that are always changing. 1. Form, our physical body, which ages and decays. 2nd sensation, our feelings, which shift based on external and internal conditions. 3. Perception, how we recognize and interpret the world around us, shaped by past experiences. 4. Mental formations, our habits, emotions, and thoughts, which are never static. 5. Consciousness, our awareness, which fluctuates moment by moment. Since these elements are constantly in flux, there is no fixed, unchanging self. This is the principle of selflessness, or Anatta, a core teaching of Buddhism. Other philosophies have acknowledged impermanence. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "No one steps into the same river twice," highlighting that everything changes. Confucius compared life to a flowing stream, constantly moving forward. However, Buddhism takes this concept further, arguing that not only is everything changing, but there is no permanent self behind these changes. This illusion of self causes suffering. Because people believe in a lasting identity, they become attached to their name, status, possessions, and emotions. This attachment leads to greed, anger, jealousy, and fear, all rooted in the desire to protect and sustain a self that does not truly exist. We are devastated when we lose things we think define us. But once we realize there is no fixed self to protect, our suffering diminishes. Buddha emphasized that if the self were real and unchanging, we would have full control over it. But do we? We cannot stop our bodies from aging. We cannot control every thought that arises in our minds, and we cannot prevent suffering entirely. Our experiences, preferences, and personalities shift over time. So, if we do not truly control ourselves, then what are we clinging to? This profound teaching is unique to Buddhism. While many religions assume the existence of an eternal soul, Buddhism challenges this idea and encourages deep self-inquiry. Buddha taught that liberation from suffering comes not from preserving a false identity, but from understanding and letting go of ego clinging. By embracing selflessness, one attains true freedom. There is no need to fear loss when you realize you were never a fixed being to begin with. There is no need to hold on to grudges or regrets when you understand that you are constantly changing. The more we detach from the illusion of a permanent self, the closer we get to inner peace and enlightenment. So, what do you think? Does selflessness make sense to you? If this video made you rethink your perception of yourself and the world, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Ancient Explorer for more deep dives into philosophy, religion, and the mysteries of existence. Share your thoughts below. Do you believe in an eternal self, or do you see yourself as ever-changing? Let's discuss.